Hello and welcome to another episode of Neptune Novelties. I hope that we get to unwind from whatever happened today or tonight and enjoy a couple of moments of just thinking and talking about a book. Now today's book is a non-fiction actually, and I believe it falls under the category of psychology. And the book is called What Men Don't Want Women to Know by Smith and Doe. Now this book was really interesting in many ways because first of all, it's not really a new book. It was not written and published like this decade. And there are other books that have the same sort of subject. And well, books like this, it makes you feel like you are uncovering some sort of secret about the everyday people in your life, actually. And if you are a woman listening to this, you're gonna have different opinions and, different ideas and different reactions about this book. And if you are a man, you probably will not like this book because it kind of tells some of the secrets you don't want out. And if you are a woman who generally just doesn't trust men or hates men, you're gonna love this book because the way that it captures men's quote-unquote secrets, you're gonna be very proud of yourself because it shows really low points of men's psychology. You're gonna be happy and sad at the same time. You're gonna be happy because you're gonna think, oh, well, I was right, I knew it all along. And you're gonna be upset because you're gonna think that, well, if other men are agreeing with all of the bad parts of men's psychology, then I'm never gonna find the right person to, live my life with. And well, if you have this bubbly feelings about how good men they are, this book is gonna kind of ruin that. But I think you shouldn't read anything with the general idea of believing every single thing in that, especially books like this in general, books about psychology, books about history, books about self-improvement, and in general, non-fiction things, you shouldn't walk into the journey of embracing that book. Honestly, you have to enter with a critical point of view, especially for books like this, because it doesn't matter if you start reading this, thinking, oh, I'm gonna know all of the single little dirty truths that men keep away from women. That's a really bad way to enter that and to read this sort of books. Or, on the other hand, if you think, oh, they're so pure and, really putting men on a pedestal, you are gonna hate this book as well. So I think you should read this with a critical point of view, and maybe not every single little thing about this is true. I think you should really analyze the point of views that this book gives you rather than having an instant reaction of madness or disgust or sadness or happiness or whatever, and whether you're a man or a woman. Now, the points that I really truly believe in this book I will give you a little bit of what you could see. And it's a really short book, so it's not gonna really take a lot of time for you to read it. But the biggest point that really annoys me, because I absolutely know for a fact that it's true, is the loyalty that men have towards each other. And that kind of really starts ever since they are born, actually. It's like an unspoken rule that no matter the situation, or if they know each other, it doesn't really matter what happened, men are always gonna have each other's back. And why am I mad about that? It's because I truly do not see that sort of loyalty and friendship and trust between women. Now, maybe you are blessed enough to have, good girlfriends in your life if you're a woman. I want you to look back at your entire friendship, and I'm sure that at some point a man has kind of sabotaged your friendship with your friend. Now, whether that be your brother, a father, a friend, a spouse, a partner, it doesn't matter. At some point in your friendship, even if it was a little tiny disagreement or a discussion that you quickly got over, some men at some level had kind of sabotaged your friendship. And that just does not happen between men. And men, they easily befriend each other, trust each other, and really support each other no matter what. Now, I'm gonna give you an example. This is a real life example that I personally experienced. And well, there was this guy that I was talking to, and something happened that kind of upset him. And his first reaction was that the previous guy was right. Now, who was the previous guy? I was friends with this other person, and we didn't really stay friends for a long time. And the only thing this new guy knew was that I had a guy friend that I'm just not friends with anymore because we had some disagreements. Like, there were no other details shared. The only thing this new guy that I was talking to knew was that there was a guy friend. And that was all he had to know to suddenly jump into defending the previous guy without knowing anything, simply because that's just another man and I'm going to support that man. I, as a woman, I'm really jealous of that, especially because even if you're one of the boys, even if you have, great guy friends, if they had to somehow choose between you and your other guy friend, they're gonna firstly stand up for the other man. That's just the loyalty between them. And I am really jealous of that. And I do wish that we as women had that as well. Other stuff that this book talks about is the way that men kind of view other women, which, at some point, you're not gonna like it. But that is if you choose to believe it or not. But like I said, it is an interesting book because, to know the other half of the population is an interesting subject. And to study each other, that is, again, something that could be interesting and helpful in the way that, maybe it could make things easier and better if it's a mutual thing. But I repeat, when you are reading books like this, view everything from a critical point of view Don't accept every single little thing. Compare it with the experiences you've had in your life and other sort of knowledges that you have. That was all for today. Thank you so much for spending this couple of moments with me. I hope to see you around soon. Laters.